Jersey Mike's was started way back in 1956 in the seaside town of Port Pleasant, New Jersey, and was originally known just as Mike's Subs. It's hard to imagine back then, but very few people had heard of a submarine sandwich, and people from New York and Philly would travel an hour or more to get their sub fix. For 15 years after starting the business, Mike continued making his subs until 1971, when Peter Cancro, who was a 14-year-old high school student, started working in the restaurant. He would change the history of Mike's forever. After working there only 3 years, and now only 17 years old, Peter approached his football coach, who happened to also fortuitously be a banker, about buying Mike's place. The coach floated him the money, and at 17 years old, technically, he was not even old enough to legally slice a sub sandwich. Peter was the proud owner of Mike's Subs. Now, unlike founder Mike, Peter was very interested in expanding and opened a couple of more outlets locally. But customers were dropping hints to him by suggesting how much they missed the subs when they left the Jersey shores and went back home. Now, Peter thought about franchising. In 1987, Mike's became Jersey Mike's Subs. Today, Peter Cancro is still the CEO of Jersey Mike's and oversees over 2,600 locations with over $3 billion in annual revenue. And for others who are here in Canada, Jersey Mike's just signed a deal with Redberry. They're going to be opening up 300 restaurants throughout the country over the next decade. But is Jersey Mike's a good investment? Let's start off with the positives before we look at some of the potential drawbacks. So one of the things Jersey Mike's did that suggests to me that this is a good organization is that when stores needed remodeling, and all franchises eventually need remodeling, particularly those in food service, Jersey Mike's corporate, the head office, paid $175 million from their own pocket to remodel all of the stores. Now, usually that cost is passed on to franchise owners, and it often costs an individual owner $100,000 or more, depending on the size and what you need for the restaurant. Now, this is a rarity in the franchise world, and they did not necessarily have to do that. Now, I really don't know if they simply forgot to put a remodeling clause in the contract. That's highly unlikely, or they are genuinely a nice company, but it truly is a great gesture, and I'm sure the franchise owners were very happy this happened. How much does it cost to open a Jersey Mike's franchise? Well, that ranges from $203,000 to $1.3 million, which includes your $42,000 to $44,000 franchise fee. Now, note that the lower end investment around $200,000, that's usually a unique situation. You might have a conversion of an existing restaurant. That's going to be a lot less. Your investment in most cases is going to trend likely towards the mid-range of these estimates. How much does an average Jersey Mike's Subs make? Well, a traditional location back in 2023 generated $1.3 million, the highest store almost $3.8 million, and the lowest $492,000. Corporately owned stores, interestingly, were even higher, $1.5 million average. Now, please always remember that these figures are restaurants that were open at least 1 year. So your first year, if you choose to open a Jersey Mike's, may not be as strong as you build up your customer base. Jersey Mike's royalties, 6.5% of your gross, 1% to corporate ads, and 4% for a national media fund. So 11.5% of your gross revenue goes immediately right out of the gate to those costs. Are those your only fees? Absolutely not. I'm going to post some of the others here on the screen, but these are pretty standard costs in any franchise agreement. Now, pay particular attention to this one, liquidated damages. That means if your store goes under for any reason, you are still liable to pay any royalties that your store would have made if you had not closed. Now, we recently did an interview with a franchise lawyer covering this clause, liquidated damages, as well as other things you need to watch for when you're buying a franchise. I'll place that link up above. Now, let's take a look at some of the concerns a potential Jersey Mike's buyer might have. While accepting the 2024 Restaurant Leader of the Year award, some people would say very well deserved, Peter Cancro stated Jersey Mike's is always for sale, indicating he just hasn't seen the right offer yet. And Blackstone's valuation was only $8 billion, while Peter thinks it's closer to the $15 billion mark. Now, typically, when a private equity firm takes over a franchise, it's often not that great for the franchise owners. We've covered these particular scenarios on the channel before. When giants take over a brand, they often implement sweeping changes that are not well received by most franchise owners. Now, if Jersey Mike's changes hands, that family atmosphere and the care that they've taken with all their owners, that might change, and it could be for the worse. Now, another consideration that surprisingly a lot of people don't give a lot of thought to is your actual ability to run a store. And contrary to what you might think, these stores don't just run themselves on autopilot. Employee hiring and retention are major challenges, and a quick visit online shows that many employees at Jersey Mike's are unhappy about working at their store. Inconsistent rules and procedures, poor business practices, poor treatment from the corporate visitors that came into my store, and even some downright illegal stuff that my RM was doing and then was trying to force us to do at a store level. Another comment states 90% of the staff is job hunting and aren't confident in how things have been ran. Now, while all businesses today face this challenge, food franchises suffer from some of the highest employee turnover rates. As a Jersey Mike's franchise owner, are you comfortable or at least willing to deal with employees leaving continually, training new employees, or even filling in personally if someone does not show up for their shift? Restaurants account for 1/3 of all working teenage persons, so you'll often be dealing with younger, less experienced people with varying personalities and ideologies. Jersey Mike's has been involved in a few lawsuits, including paying $150,000 to the Attorney General for a no-poach clause it had made all of their franchisees sign. Now, no poach prohibits other franchise locations in the system from hiring existing employees from other locations. That essentially has the effect of driving down wages. And specific to your own situation, you want to check your local competition, both from same system, other Jersey Mike's in close proximity, as well as external competitors. There are a lot of fast food franchises that are out there. Some cities are completely saturated, and depending on the future economy, this could hurt your sales to varying degrees. You need data before you buy a franchise. Our service is always no charge to qualified buyers. Details are above, and our franchise education playlist that is down below. Hundreds of helpful videos. Thank you for watching.